Okay, recording. Hey guys, welcome back to Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. My name is Alec Cuenca, and I am excited for this episode because today we have a very special guest. I always say that we have a special guest, but this one's a really special guest. I have been waiting to talk to this person, and now I am excited to talk dito sa Small Talk. And here in Small Talk, we are dedicated in bringing in inspiring people so we can dive in a little bit deeper into their brains and try to get ideas that could help us change our lives for the better. So, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, then welcome to the show. I hope that you go check out the other amazing episodes because they have a lot of amazing insights that you can learn as well. If this is your end time, you're an avid listener of the podcast, and welcome back. Sana masarap yung ulam nyo. Sana mag-enjoy kayo sa episode na to. And if you do, go ahead and share this on your social media channel. So, I'm excited because today we have a very special guest. Our guest for today is the founder of Morena the Label. Morena the Label is a clothing line that celebrates sun-kissed skin, body positivity, and everything in between. She's also the woman behind Ideology Studio. I hope I pronounced that right. She creates killer content, manufactures mindful merch, and thrives in meaningful conversations. She is a content creator, one of the best to ever do it. And she is the host of the podcast, Camp Confidence. Let's all welcome to the show, Ayin Bernos. Ayin, welcome to the show.
Hello! Oh my gosh, thank you naman sa generous introduction natin. I'm
Siyempre
so happy to
naman.
be here.
Yes, I am happy. The honor and the pleasure is all mine. And yeah, we've been talking back and forth sa TikTok. We've connected a lot of times. Pero ngayon pa lang talaga tayo mag-uusap. And I just can't contain myself. Sobrang dami kong gustong itanong, sobrang dami kong gustong pag-usapan. But let me just start off with, because in TikTok, you are now the icon for self-love and confidence. At least for me, every time I see your video, it just gives a spark in me, a light in me that I need to take care of myself a little bit more, and I need to be confident, more confident in that sense. And so, where did your journey, before we dive into the confidence stuff, where did your journey in loving yourself started?
You know, the thing is, ang daming misconception, I guess, with self-development. Na parang, because sometimes I would get comments na, oh, sana all kaya maging or like self-development or whatever. My anxiety says no. But actually, for me, the reason why I'm so into self-development and improvement is because I have so like really bad anxiety. I struggle with a lot of these things. I've had, moments in my life when I really did not know how to move forward, which is why I'm proactive about this. Na talagang inaaral ko, okay, how can I be better? How can I do things better? Kasi I'm just tired of being, you know, I'm tired of just living in my anxiety as opposed to living with anxiety na natutunan ko kay Coach Laika, by the way, another TikToker. Pero ayun, it really stemmed from my personal need to grow and to, cope with my struggles. So, yun.
So, did the anxiety that you have was really, really bad? Can you share some moments where you felt na, or parang, kailan yung parang pinaka moment na, okay, I gotta love myself a little bit more. Kailan nagsimula lahat yun?
Yung actually, for me, iba-iba siyang times depending on what I
Mm.
needed. For example, yung confidence ko sa sarili ko. I wanted to embrace my skin and my body and myself more. That started when I was, being bullied for my morena skin. Na parang, people put you down for being dark. And nung time na yun, swimmer pa ako. So I was extra, extra dark. So, yun yung time na sabi ko, ayoko naman mabuhay, just hating myself, right? So that's when I started to work on that. Now, on the other hand, yung mga strong independent womanness ko, yun naman, nagsimula naman yun from a breakup, which I'm sure you can relate to. Kasi
Mm.
ako, yun talaga yung like really life-changing for me na okay, sabi ko, I can't depend on another person anymore. So how can I stand on my own? And that's when that started. Ayun. So I guess like different moments, different origins for different areas of self-development. Pero yun yung top two ko, I would say, na talagang nagbago ng buhay ko.
Yeah, parang oo nga 'no, hindi natin naisip na it comes in a series. Hindi lang naman siya isang parang pinaka-moment na puwedeng sabihin mo na naayusin mo na yung buhay mo. Sometimes, the different aspects ng self-development, it can come sa iba't ibang time ng buhay mo. Ibang ibang time mo na-discover na, okay, you gotta be confident. Okay, you gotta love yourself more. And I could really agree on the fact na I think most of us who are into self-development, especially heavy on self-love, galing talaga sa breakup eh. And I think that's one of your, most viral videos on TikTok. You didn't have any pictures of your breakup, but you had a lot of
Mhm.
amazing moments when you were healing from the breakup. So can you share a little bit of that experience? What was it like? Like, of course, it was really sobrang bigat, sobrang sakit sa puso. Pero after that, like during the moments na you had really nothing in plan, you just took the trip, you went to Spain, or you took the first. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and what was going through your mind?
Yeah, I think what I realized after that breakup, because, well, to give you guys a quick background, I was 22 years old and I got engaged. So I was
Mhm.
going to get married. There was a church, there was a reception venue. I even moved to Japan. So I lived in Tokyo for
Mhm.
like 3 months because I was going to get married. Tapos, nung time na yon, alam mo yun, being so young, wala naman akong strong identity. I quit my job. I shifted to like a remote job para syempre masundan ko yung fiance ko. I left my family, I left my life. As in, sobrang inuproot ko talaga. And then when that relationship ended, I was left with practically nothing because I did not know who I was. So to me, the biggest question was, sino ba si Ayin outside of relationships? And that's
Mhm.
what I wanted to understand afterwards. So what I did was first I traveled kasi syempre, alam niyo naman, yun yung unang escape option eh. Parang for me, my tendency is okay, I need to get away. I need to meet new people. I need to put myself outside of my comfort zone. So I started traveling. And then a year later, I found a job in Spain, which allowed me to not just travel around Europe, but to really live there for a school year because I was an English teacher in Spain. Parang ako si Teddy.
Wow.
So when I was there, dun ko natutunan, how to live with by myself. I had, my roommates, getting along with other people other than my family. Tapos, on top of that, I also was able to pursue my career na parang, okay, now that nobody is stopping me or my life isn't dependent on anyone, I can choose what to do next. As in, literally, ako na talaga yung nagde-decision, which I found so empowering. So ayun, I decided to also start my own business kasi sabi ko, ano bang mawawala sa akin? Literally, nawala na lahat. Meron pa bang masusunod dyan? So I just wanted to start. Tapos, after nun, ano pa bang ginawa ko? Yun, like finding my own hobbies. I think I mentioned it also dun sa video. Kasi before that, I just did whatever my past boyfriends would like. Parang kung ano yung trip nila, yun na rin yung trip ko. Which was, to me, parang ano ba yan? Wala ba akong personality? So I tried to really focus on that. Na sabi ko, okay, I need to have my own thing. Na I discovered in those years after my last breakup. Saya.
So, you went to Spain ng mga 23 years old ka? Tama ba?
Yeah, parang hindi, ano na yun, wait lang, 2018. I think I was 24 kasi ano yun eh, hindi ako agad-agad
Oh.
pumuntang Spain. So I
Mhm.
spent a year pa dito in the Philippines just trying to, wait, actually, nag-break kami my 23rd birthday.
Oh,
Imagine. As in like,
wow.
on my birthday, I was flying home, nasa eroplano ako, tapos umiiyak ako, tapos hindi alam ng pamilya ko na cancel yung wedding. The trauma.
Ah,
Ayun.
oh my God.
So I moved to Spain a year after that. So I was 24 years old. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's you would think that that only happens in the movies, but wow. I mean, just by hearing your story and looking at where you are right now, it's just really inspiring. Like even if we don't know like the gritty little details about it, like seeing you how you flourish right now, and I noticed that you've also gained a new love interest recently, and so no, it's just really inspiring, and a lot of people could relate to that, and you're just spreading positivity and light across TikTok as well. And one thing that I would like to ask is, when you were when you were going through this, wait lang, I lost my train of thought. So okay.
Breakup or
Okay, no. So nung nalaman mo on your birthday na maghihiwalay na kayo, um, did automatic ba 'yun, or parang dire-diretso na siya na, "Okay, I gotta love myself," or parang dumaan ka pa sa matagal na phase? Like what pushed you? Like what inspired you to get out of it? Kasi a lot of people, they're having a hard time. Like, 'pag naka-experience sila ng mga gano'ng klaseng bagay, ng mga mababang bagay, totally talagang wala, or minsan sinisira pa nila lalo. But ikaw,
Mhm.
nilabas mo na yung sarili mo na, "Okay, I gotta experience these things. I gotta, answer these questions I have in my mind." Or
Yeah.
meron ka pa bang dinaanang phase na parang talagang wala, gano'n?
I think for me, kasi yung leading up to the breakup, I was already, trying to empower myself, trying to see. Kasi that whole thing, that was not an easy decision for me. To go home, to fly home, that wasn't easy at all. So leading up to that, sabi ko, ayin, you need to make better decisions. Ayin, if you
Hmm.
decide to go home, kailangan talaga ayusin mo to. Kailangan, you need to be there for yourself na. Kasi when I felt like I haven't really done that. I wasn't there for myself during that time or earlier, like many years. For many years, I wasn't really there for myself. So sabi ko, what pushed me to go through with the breakup was also the same push that pushed me to continue fighting for myself afterwards. Kasi ito, I remember nga, I wrote in my journal when I was in Japan, sabi ko, hey future Ayin, sabi ko, kasi I like to write letters for my future self, and I wrote one for, I think, 2021, sabi ko, or 2020, I'm not sure. Basta sabi ko, Dear Ayin, I hope you're making better decisions. Ayun. So sabi ko, okay, fine. We gotta do that. Kailangan tuloy-tuloy.
Ayun. So ayun, naalala ko na yung question ko, 'di ba? Kaya you now have a new love interest. And how would you say, like, this time's better now, or you're now making better decisions now because you have, gone through undergone through the journey of self-love. Like, is it better
Mhm.
now? What's like the main difference here?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, hindi na ako marupok. As in, hindi na ako basta-basta, basta-basta na in love. Actually, for me, well, for my current jowa, um, we actually met during the pandemic, as in like November-ish, and we didn't get together officially until May. And it was,
Hmm.
I was very adamant na if you don't want me, I'm okay. Like, and that has been my attitude dating wise for the last 3 years, which is why I've been single for the last 3 years. Na talagang, to me, kung hindi ka fully into me, that's okay. Because, like, I like myself enough to stay alone. And I think ang naging maganda doon is I was really able to be with the right person for the right reasons. It was not because I needed somebody to fill a void. It was not because I needed somebody to, give me validation or whatever. It was just, I genuinely liked this person. He made me happy, and he is present, and I want to be with him. Like, I don't need to be with him, but I want to be with him. And I think having that choice, yung power to choose talaga, is so empowering kasi ano eh, like, medyo mas clear na yung utak ko, obviously. I've also grown up. Ano na ako ngayon, I'm turning 27. I'm almost 27. From 22, medyo matagal din yung panahon na yun. And marami akong natutunan. So, I think ngayon, I know what I'm getting myself into. At, yan, medyo mas mature na tayo, I would say.
Yeah, like siguro it's really empowering then to understand that you have the power to choose, the power to choose your standards, to set boundaries, to set non-negotiables, and then just knowing that you love yourself so much that you wouldn't try to make another person stay in your life. Like if they want to stay, then they'll
They
stay.
will. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you wouldn't know that if you just if you didn't love yourself that much, kung hindi mo alam yung identity mo, kung sino ka ba talaga, kung ano ba yung worth mo bilang tao talaga as an individual. So now that changes everything. And I always share this in like when people ask me about relationship, na don't ever chase, just attract. Like we don't chase, we
Mm-hmm.
attract. Like that manifestation, that affirmation is really powerful because it really works. When you um, focus on yourself and become a better version of yourself, you will attract better people. And what I love about that story that you shared is that you didn't force anything. Like you met this guy back in the pandemic and you just started going out May. Like parang wala talagang pinilit. Whatever flows flows, whatever crashes crashes, and now you're just happy together. And seeing that, like seeing a healthy relationship like that, just reminds people that you first need to really be independent, because if you are both independent in a relationship, that's just way better than parehas kayong dependent sa isa't isa.
Yes, exactly. So parang walang pressure to, I can be myself, like who I was before
Mm.
the relationship. I'm accepted for that Ayin. Like that version of Ayin is accepted, and therefore I don't need to really change to fit into his life. Na parang okay, we have our lives, and we've come to realize na because we took time to get to know each other, na parang oh nga, like aligned naman. So parang it's kind of boring. It's definitely not like, sweep off your feet na young adult romance. Definitely
Yeah.
hindi talaga. Pero okay lang kasi at the end of the day, you just want something stable. Pagod na ako sa ano, sa fairy tale.
Funny, I also interviewed Cara Erigel, and she also said the same thing. And she just got recently married, and sabi niya na parang darating kasi sa point na mapapagod ka na umasa na parang Disney princess ka eh. Tapos pag ganun daw, mas matatanggap mo na, mas matututunan mo munang mahalin yung sarili mo, and then saka i-prioritize yung alam mo yun, yung love yung fairy tale type of love na yan. So medyo same sentiments kayo. Now, I want to ask you something about confidence, because obviously with Morena the label, with the businesses that you have, with just how you image yourself on social media, you are a very confident person, and a lot of people gets their confidence from you as well. When they see you now, wow, if Ate Ayin can do that, I can do that as well. But can I ask, were you always this confident, or again, kailan nagsimula yung journey towards this very confident woman? Iba ba siya dun sa love life? Iba ba?
Oh, definitely different siya with every area. Syempre, like for me, yung confidence ko, let's say, me being an extrovert, I've always been, I think, more or less confident around people. I recently posted something on TikTok, as in a video from 2011. And I remember, tawang-tawa lang ako because nakita mo ba yun?
Yeah, yeah. Sa
Yung
UST
video na
yun, di ba?
yon. UST, yes. That was my first day of school. Tapos, I had like this group of friends. The first day ko, as in like, dun ko lang sila na-meet. Sobrang
Mm.
ingay ko. I was like doing this whole performance. Tapos sabi ko, why? Why am I like this? Pero it turns out, I've always been confident around people. Parang comfortable lang ako sa ibang tao. Pero yung confidence ko, like with my skills, my body, my face, yung mga ganun, like physical stuff, and also maybe relationships, those are things that I really needed to work on. So for example, with my physical appearance, I really needed to embrace how to, being a morena. So ayan, sa akin, it really helped to, number one, educate myself on the matter. So ako, pagka meron akong struggle internally, sabi ko, bakit ba hindi ko gusto sa sarili ko? I will literally Google it. Like, how to love myself more, how to like myself better, how to stop being insecure about blank. As in talaga, I will search for information because I feel like if I can't find the answers myself, I will ask whoever is more experienced. So that's one. And then another one that helped me was surrounding myself with confident people. Yung when I was in
Mm.
my adulthood na, like early 20s, dun ko na meet like some of the most confident friends I know, na talagang they're just oozing with confidence kahit anong suot nila. I've seen them at their skinniest, I've seen them at their heaviest, and hindi nagfa-fluctuate. As in, like, they just like themselves. And to me, that was so empowering to be around that kind of energy, na wala kang choice kundi maging confident na rin, na because they were so confident, parang ako, gusto ko din maging ganun. And I guess yun din yung gusto ko rin naman ma-achieve on social media. I just wanna be myself unapologetically, confidently, para when people see na it's possible with me, kahit na, kakulay ko sila, ka-face shape ko sila, wala din akong boobs. So, parang if kaya maging confident, then kaya din nila maging confident. So, I would say it's really a work in progress na I constantly try to be better, but at the same time I make sure na my environment is taken care of, na positive impact and positive influences rin all around me.
That's really beautiful, especially when we don't know the answers ourselves. We need to ask other people who have experienced it or knows the answer. And for this example, we have Google. Like if we're insecure about things, we search how to stop being insecure. We'll find a lot of TED talks. We'll find a lot of people who are motivating and inspiring in whatever they're trying to do. Just trying to help you in one way or in the other. And I think that's a very powerful concept. Like if we don't know the answers, we should stop asking ourselves because hindi talaga natin malalaman. Like ask someone else that knows the answer, or you can lead you to find the answer yourself. And the other one is the surrounding yourself with people. Um, as you notice, I had a very controversial, not so much, but a very controversial video about that, where I said, like, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. But that's like my main point. Like people are hating on me on that video because um they felt like I said that we should like abandon all of our friends. But the point is, if you just spend time, if you're a person who doubts yourself, just spend time with people who believes in themselves, and
Mhm.
then you can have more confidence inside of you. That's basically what I'm telling. If hindi nag-focus sila masyado sa isa ko example, naging punta na sa alak, ganyan yung usapan, but it's not that.
Oh
It's
my
surrounding
god.
yourself with the right people. And obviously you've experienced that. Can you tell us a little bit more about the importance of surrounding yourself with people who believes in you kahit ikaw mismo hindi ka naniniwala minsan sa sarili mo?
Yeah, absolutely. Sobrang agree ako dun sa video mo na yon, and I don't get why you're getting so much hate over that, because it's a straightforward concept na talaga naman na, if your tribe, your crowd, your group, they if you are all on the same path, then it's much easier to get there. So, and I think with me, parang I can really see that in the way that my friendships have evolved. Na syempre, like some people don't stay in our lives, unfortunately. Not everyone stays in our lives. And I have experienced that. Like I've outgrown, some people have outgrown me, and it's just natural. Like if you're going in one direction, it's almost natural to kind of shed some of those relationships na ganun talaga eh. Alam mo ba, like in the last couple of years, my friends, yung mga friends ko na have, na we are on the same path, are actually really doing well. Na they're all hardworking and they're all inspiring. And even yung mga new connections na I am meeting, like today in my mid-20s na palapit ng palapit sa purpose ko yung mga nami-meet kong tao. So like you, meeting you on TikTok, we're both self-development nerds na, like yung circle ko, even if I don't try, it's just natural na
Yeah.
yun eh. Because that's how I try to move forward. So the people that I meet and the people I attract are also like-minded. And I think it just makes so much sense to me. As in, I have
Yeah.
more CEO. As in, sobrang dami kong CEO friends. And hindi ko naman tinry i-pick na, I will only befriend CEOs. It's not that. It's just that yung circle, yung trabaho ko, yung events na pinupuntahan ko, naturally, sila yung makikilala ko. So, that's what I think a lot of people are not getting dun sa video na
Yeah.
yun. Now, it's not like
Yeah.
we are abandoning people. It's just that we gravitate towards people who have the same goals and aspirations. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing talaga. And in fact, it's so empowering. Ay, bahala na sila.
Sige, kung ayaw niyong maniwala, sige. Hindi, pero I think yeah, it's it's a really really powerful concept kasi ako rin hindi ko rin siya sinasadya eh. Parang nung pumasok ako dito sa content creation, like wala rin talaga akong connection, as in wala. And now if like I've talked to Yanni Moya, Cara Erigel, I talked to a lot of people who are also into self-improvement, in the self-help journey, and I could remember a time that I didn't really hate my friends, pero it just feels like hindi ko na magawa yung bagay na gusto kong gawin pagkasama ko sila. Parang kasi I wanna do something bigger. I wanna do something more. I wanna do something na hindi pa namin nagagawa before. And in order to do that, I gotta do things na hindi ko pa talaga ginagawa. And it's not parang sila, all my friends here, nung yung parang sinasabi nila na iniwan ko or inabandon ako, sabi ng mga TikTok video, ay sa comments, yung mga friends ko dito, naiintindihan nila na kasi, Alec, totoo naman, if you spend time with us, you wouldn't have time to do, to create your brand, to create, the things that you're creating, to create the content, to inspire people. And I was like, oh yeah, that just makes sense. Now, it's not that I don't want to spend time with you guys, but I have to spend less time with you guys. And that's not a bad thing. Like, even if you're not spending time with your old friends, if they're really your friends, they would understand it. Parang ganun eh. Nakita ko
Yeah.
may mga kaibigan din akong ganun eh. So,
And low
yeah,
maintenance yung friendships na, even if you don't talk anymore, even if you have different lifestyles, if you meet at one point, then you'll still be friends if you're really friends. The difference
yeah,
is, who do you spend literal time with? As in like, on a daily
yeah.
basis, sino yung kausap mo lagi? Sino yung katrabaho mo? That makes the most difference, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I, sorry, we gotta go a little bit deeper into that. Pero kasi my main point on that video is it's about the time. It's not about the
Mm-hmm.
company. It's more about the time. Even though
Time
you're not
spent.
yeah, even though you're not drinking or you don't become an alcoholic or someone who smokes a lot when you hang out with smokers, even if you don't do that, if you're spending time with them, then you're still allocating your time not achieving the things that you want to achieve or yung mga bagay na gusto mo talaga unless doon ka talaga masaya. Kung doon ka masaya,
Mhm.
wala tayong problema. Like that's the main goal. If you're happy with that,
Yes.
I don't need. But if you're not happy with that, if you're complaining that you want to be better, if you have goals, then you gotta look where you're allocating your time, diba?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So yeah, medyo gigil na ako. Anyway,
Ay naku, ganyan din
going
ako
back
sa
to
mga sa mga TikTok videos. Parang, guys.
yeah, and siguro first time ko rin kasi like I've been creating TikTok videos for a year, pero first time ko na talagang disagree talaga yung like vocally nagdi-disagree sila. Parang okay, I made it, guys. Mom, I made it. I have haters now. Anyway, but yeah, now let's go back a little bit on the confidence topic. If someone comes up to you and they ask you, "How can I be confident?" What would you say to them?
I would say let go of the need to be perfect. Kasi I think lack of confidence comes from wanting to be a certain way and not achieving that. For example, for me, yung kakulangan ko sa confidence in like myself, my physical appearance, it comes from looking at my features as flaws. Kaya nga paulit-ulit ko sinasabi, what flaws? Like, why are my stretch marks flaws? Why is my dark skin a flaw? Like, hindi siya flaws. It's a feature. So, once I started to let go of the expectation, I need to look like this, I need to look like that, I need to compare myself to this, to that. That's when I realized like, oh, I can just be with myself. Like, as in, mas peaceful siya. Kasi wala na akong expectation na hindi na meet. Kasi to me, this is enough. And once you look at yourself as enough, it's kind of hard to not be confident. Kasi ano pang, saan ka pa magdudwell? And then another thing is, halimbawa naman, skill. Kasi sa physical appearance, we can't really do anything about it, di ba? So it's easy to let go. Pero kung skills, career, and halimbawa, I'm not confident kasi hindi ako magaling sa public speaking. To me, I need to embrace the process, like being a work in progress, na hindi pa ako magaling ngayon. Pero I know na if I put time and effort into this, gagaling din ako. And I need to enjoy every step of the process. Kasi kung, imagine if I'm going through the difficult process na nga, tas wala pa akong confidence, tas inaaway ko pa sarili ko, dinadown ko pa sarili ko, then how can I achieve that? 'Di ba? Part of working on yourself is also embracing that you're not gonna be the best from the beginning, and that's okay, and you might not even be the best ever, and that's okay. To me, like, enjoy lang ako na I'm doing what I want to do, and I am improving in the areas na I want to improve. Kasi, like, I feel like I've taken time to define success for myself na, okay, what does success look like for me? At the end of the day, yun lang yung importante. Kasi if we try to measure our success based on yung sa ibang tao, yung definition nila, then we're never gonna be enough for ourselves. And to me, yun nga, like what I said earlier, you need to be enough to be confident. And if you believe that you're enough, then it's much easier to show up as that person. So yun, parang ako, it's more the mindset. Kasi I'm never gonna be like the best and as good as I want to be. However, I can just embrace where I am at the moment. Tapos yun, just live with that. Ayoko maghintay maging perfect bago maging confident. Nakakapagod.
Wow. Okay. That is so nice. Like, if when you said that we're all work in progress, like if we understand that you don't need to wait to be perfect or to be like good in something before you can be confident. Like, it can go inwards, but pwede siyang baliktarin na it's all about the mindset. And and the major mindset that people need to have is accepting that the features that we have are not flaws. Like, the flaws that society says, it's not flaws. They are features. And I mean, with that just simple concept, I think a lot of people can really turn up their confidence. Even ako, nung narinig ko yun na, wow, oo nga, no? Parang, now, I'm feeling more confident kasi parang, I don't need anything more. But at the same time, okay, here's my next question. And at the same time, I want to be better. Pero it starts with grounding myself that I am enough. I am, whatever I need, I have it in me already. But that doesn't stop me from being better myself. So my question is, how do you find the balance between understanding that you are enough, you don't need anything more, but at the same time working yourself to be better?
Yeah. I think it all goes back to our why. Like, what is your purpose? Why do you have these goals
Mm.
in the first place? Like, why are you working towards this thing? Because I feel like our worth as humans, that's not something that fluctuates. We are just worthy. We're worthy. And
Mm.
whatever we do, we will be worthy kahit gaano tayo tumanda, pumangit, we are always going to be worthy. However, where we go from there depends on us. Now, for me kasi, yun nga, like, it goes back to defining our why and defining what success means to us. And to me, ang ano ko kasi, I guess like on a personal level, my why is to create positive real world impact. And parang I'm not fulfilled when I'm stagnant. So that's just who I am as a person. Now, if you're somebody who likes to chill and that gives you happiness and you feel like that makes your life, purposeful, then go. Like that's it looks differently sa iba-ibang tao. So we're never in a place or a position to judge. But for me kasi, I'm striving to create impact, with the people in my life. Like I want to be able to give back to my family. I want to, when I do have my own family in the future, I want to give them a good life. I want to give back to my community. So when I think about that purpose and that why, then I can work towards it. But that doesn't mean na kung hindi ko pa siya na-achieve, ay hindi ako good enough. Like, I'm good enough for just trying. I'm good enough for showing up. But there is always so much more to be done. Yeah, and I think it's like it's such a complicated contradiction. Kasi, diba, okay, I'm enough. Do I need to do more? Well, if you think you need to do more, then do more. Pero kung hindi mo ba yan ma-achieve, does that mean you're less? Madidisappoint ka ba sa sarili mo? It's such a weird balance na kailangan alamin mo sa sarili mo na part of progressing and achieving is also accepting kung nasaan ka at kung sino ka. Kasi I think it's counterproductive kasi. If we're loathing ourselves, if we hate ourselves, if binababa natin sarili natin, that's not gonna get us anywhere. So to me, iniiwasan ko lang yun na, okay, I can be disappointed, I can be realistic and see na malayo pa yung gagawin ko. Pero at the same time, I need to also be compassionate. Kasi kung hindi ako compassionate sa sarili ko, mas lalo lang ako mahihirapan, no? Like, the journey is
Mhm.
already hard. The tasks are already difficult. And if I'm not, rooting for myself, ugh, ang hirap nun. I don't want to live that way.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. Like there's this balance that you need to have. Na even though you need to take a step, a level up in life, that you gotta ground yourself and be happy with the level that you are. Kasi nga mahirap na yung journey at wag mo na pahirapan pa yung sarili mo. Thank you for sharing that, Ayin. Now I want to talk because you mentioned like you're doing this for the future generation, for giving back to the community. And I know that in content creation, you have actually started in YouTube. Am I right? You're creating
Yes.
content before, but I think I can't remember who said this, but like someone said TikTok gave you a break, but I could attest that I already saw your videos before, and parang sabi ko ay ang galing naman nito, and it was I don't know if it's on YouTube or ano, pero parang ayun nga, now you shifted into TikTok, and TikTok has been very very good to you, and you're now having more exposure and you're now giving more value to other people because of TikTok. So, can you tell us your journey in content creation? Like, nag-start ka sa YouTube, tapos what essentially kept you going?
Mm-hmm. Well, I started YouTubing 2016. So it's been
Mm,
5 years since I started. Tapos, I was pretty much doing the same content, beauty, motivation, self-development, travel. Pero I never really was able to fully grow my community kasi number one, it's a little more difficult to edit YouTube videos. As in, ang hirap
yeah.
niya pagka ang dami mong ina-upload. Consistency is very difficult, lalo na nun meron akong day job, ganyan. Tapos another thing was, it's hard to get people to discover you. Kasi it's partly, you need to, you need to have an attractive thumbnail. You need to have a lot of connections. So, ang hirap niya talaga for me. Whereas, with TikTok, nung nag-start ako sa TikTok, December 2020, sabi ko pa, as a joke, sabi ko talaga sa kasi nagpalit ako ng phone. I used to have like a Samsung Note 5 na matagal ko na yung phone. As in, it was my phone for 5 years. Tapos, nagpalit ako sa iPhone. Eh, di ba yung TikTok, mas clear yung mas clear
Yeah,
yung what do
yeah.
you call that? Yung video sa iPhone. Sabi ko talaga, "Ay nako, 'pag ako nagka-iPhone, I'm gonna be a TikTok superstar." Tapos nakakatawa kasi like I kept making that joke paulit-ulit ako na I'm gonna be a TikTok superstar. Pero ayun. So I think the great thing about TikTok is I was able to show myself as authentically as possible on the FYP. Kasi sa FYP, parang ano kayo, ibo-boost ka sa strangers, sa new viewers, tapos they get to decide if they like you or not. It's not the thumbnail that gets them, it's not the clickbait title, it's nothing. It's you. It's you in the first 5 seconds. And to me, mas kaya ko siyang gawin than yung YouTube. Is parang wala lang, sobrang grateful ko talaga sa platform, sa TikTok kasi na-introduce ko yung sarili ko without having to compromise my identity. Na I'm just a yin and you see me in 60 seconds and that's it. You can decide if you like me or not. You can decide if you want to come back for more content or not. And feeling ko it was really the best way to present myself kasi hindi ako maka-keep up sa creativity ng maraming tao, hindi ako maka-keep up sa consistency, pero I can just be myself and people can decide if that's enough. And I think that's what TikTok gave me as an opportunity when I started na oh my gosh, nagbago talaga buhay ko. I couldn't believe it.
Well, I'm really, really happy for you, and you deserve it. And as you said, when we talk about TikTok, I didn't see it that way. Na it like the reason why people like it, it's because it's really, really authentic. Like they get to decide. Hindi yung you got to worry about the SEOs, the tags,
Yes.
the description, the title, all of those,
Mhm.
clickbait stuff. Like this, everyone has an opportunity to show up on people's FYP, and if they're authentic, if they get value from it, they you get an engagement. It's easy as that, and you can get
Mhm.
boosted to a lot of people's FYPs if you're really authentic and your personality is really likable. And yeah, I could really relate to that when it comes to creativity and having the network. Parang mahirap na eh. Parang abutin ka ng 10 taon tulad ni Kong na mag 10 taon ka munang mag-grind bago ka sumikat sa YouTube. Pero ngayon, mas madali na with TikTok kasi talaga fair battle eh. It doesn't matter kung artista ka o hindi. Minsan nga mas pinapaboran pa yung mga
Yeah.
hindi artista sa TikTok, 'di ba? But
Yeah.
we're all really grateful for TikTok. So TikTok, if you're listening to this podcast, sponsor us. Anyway, no, we're just really
Back in a
happy, and
man.
baka naman, we're just really happy. And one thing that I really loved about your TikTok and also with your YouTube video is that you're such a great storyteller, and
Oh,
you
thank you.
are one of the. I've seen some of your Toastmasters videos, and you're really amazing. And minsan kahit ako na I'm really confident and I get so comfortable talking to people and being on stage, but seeing you, it's like, oh my gosh, I need to step up my game. Like this person is so good in speaking in public, or storytelling skills. It's just so good. And I think that's what you do well in your brand as well. So can you share with us the importance of creating a story in everything that we do, whether it's in content creation or in public speaking? What's like the importance? How do you see storytelling plays in the grander scheme of things?
Oh, thank you so much for saying that, by the way. Kasi before anything else, like before being a vlogger, content creator, I really consider myself a writer first. Yun talaga yung
Mm.
background ko. I'm really a writer. And that's always been like my biggest dream is to publish my own book, ganyan. The only reason I even got into content creation kasi ngayon, like, nobody gets a book deal unless you're really talented or really famous. The sabi ko, I don't know if I'm that talented, but But I wonder if pwede kong trabahuhin yung be famous. So, honestly, yun yung reason kung ba't ako
Okay.
naging content creator. Kasi sabi ko, baka wala namang bumili ng libro ko kung wala akong following. So, that's why I decided to start. Pero, I've grown to love content creation as its own thing. Pero din ako nagsimula.
Mhm.
Anyway, so regarding your question about storytelling, I think the importance of storytelling is to bridge the gap between yourself and your viewers, because sometimes, as humans, we tend to talk about ourselves talaga, and that's just normal. I tend to talk about myself a lot and my problems and my issues. That's just how it is. But the great thing with storytelling, I think, is we find a way to move our story from just being a personal thing to something that resonates with a larger group of people. And I think that's what I learned to do over the years. Now, okay, how will this be relatable? What can people get from this? And how can this be bigger than myself? And yun talaga yung natutunan ko, eh. I guess in the hard way too, because it took me 5 years to build an audience. So I guess to me, it's learning to grow that story outside of yourself so that others can also benefit from them. Kasi yun nga, na parang, yeah, my story's cool, but who else is listening? Who would want to listen to that? So ayun, it's like putting myself in the position of my viewers and my readers and seeing, okay, what's gonna make them happy. So I think that's it. But also, okay, other than that, it's also important on a more practical sense. Word choice is so important, language is so important, and not in a it doesn't have to be just English. It can be Tagalog, English, Bisaya, kung ano ka man comfortable. Pero yun, you need to use words wisely to communicate kasi words really go a long way. It sticks with people and they can take words with them kahit na mawala ka sa picture. Even if they forget about me, they forget about my story, the words that stick with them will stay with them. So yeah, don't underestimate words.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Do not ever underestimate words. Like I could recall, there was one moment where, like, I was talking to someone, and then he would say something. He would go, "I saw this TikTok video that says this quote, blah 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 blah," and he didn't realize that it was me. It was me
Oh,
who
that's so
who said
cool.
that. He didn't remember. I was like, Yeah, that was my video." So, oh, really? It was you? Oh, that's so nice. And I was like, so it doesn't really matter. Like your face, it's like second priority. It doesn't matter. And
Mhm.
like for the longest time, like my name was Daily Motivation. They didn't know my name. They
Yes.
didn't know. Yeah, so they were just, oh, you're the guy, you're the Daily Motivation guy, but they didn't know my name. And I keep on telling people that it's not important as long as they get the message. That's what matters the most, and you can only do that in storytelling. So thank you so much, Ayin, for sharing that. Now, I want to ask I want to talk about your podcast because you have a podcast. It's called Camp Confidence, and I want to
Yes.
know what's the concept behind that.
Yeah, it started out okay. I started Camp Confidence by myself actually, and my first original plan was to interview people the way you do.
Hmm.
I wanted to I wanted to interview inspiring people so I could get their stories. I can see how they're a work in progress. It was really about that, how even the most successful people can be a work in progress. And
Mm.
the thing is, this was pre-pandemic, nung hindi pa uso yung virtual meetings, calls. So I had to schedule everything in person. So I would make people travel just to guest on my podcast. I would, you know, it was really difficult to do it. It was unsustainable for me. So sabi ko, okay, I think I need a partner para hindi na ako araw-araw, naghahanap ng guest na pupunta dito, ganyan. So, I decided to reach out to Riza. Tapos kasi I saw her YouTube video and I was like, she's eloquent, she's smart. I should get her to co-host. And she said yes. And this was during the pandemic na. So napilitan talaga kami maging virtual. So after nun, when Riza joined the team, I was able to, I guess we were able to focus more on the content as opposed to, pero gusto nga namin ma-figure out how to get guests join eh. Kasi hindi namin ma-figure out yung technical side nun. But anyway, so the podcast now is all about confidence, self love, and entrepreneurship. So it's finding ways to be a better version of ourselves from the perspective of two Filipino entrepreneurs. So I am a baby entrepreneur. I'm not as experienced as Riza, but I am a self development nerd and a content creator. Riza naman, on the other hand, is a powerhouse. As in, ang dami niyang businesses, ang dami niyang experience. So I think we complement each other in the sense na we are coming from two different places, pero we come together and we try to share our stories and our ideas based on whatever the topic is. So we try to make it as engaging as possible for our audience, so they get to ask questions as well. We get to answer them, and overall it's a really really fun experience because for me personally it is a passion project. It's not really a job, it's a passion project, and we show up because it's partly to give back to the community but also for us to grow. Kasi ako, I learn so much every time we record an episode. Ang dami kong natututunan about Riza's experience, about myself. As in, it's always like therapy. So, ayun. Enjoy naman siya for me.
Yeah, like that's like the perfect description for podcast. It's like going to therapy. And
Ito, today, therapy.
eto, therapy 'tong ginagawa natin na 'to. Actually, kahit ako rin 'pag mag-isa ako, eh, parang tina-try ko kunyari may ni-imagine ko lang may nagtatanong sa'kin, "Oh, sige, actually ito yung nararamdaman ko right now, I feel like this," like ganyan. So, it's kinda like therapy, but in a way that, a lot of people will get entertained by it. And hopefully a lot or more people get to listen to your podcast because your podcast is really amazing. And, your chemistry with Riza. And I'm excited to meet her as well. Medyo kinakabahan tuloy ako na she's just this powerhouse, and I am excited to learn more about the things that she do. And yeah, I just want to appreciate you for not only staying on TikTok and YouTube, but also expanding yourself sa podcast industry, because a lot of people really need to hear your message. And I am just going to pray every single night that your podcast gets more traction, because it can really help a lot of Filipinos out there. So thank you so much, Ain, for all the things that you are doing in the content creation space.
Thank you, Alec. Oh my gosh. Sobrang, it honestly to me, it's still surreal. It doesn't feel real kasi nga I've been doing this for so long, but I'm always super, super grateful that I get to meet, other content creators like you, like-minded people who, have the same mission. And I'm so honored that you invited me on your podcast. Now we got to talk about this and finally meet.
Yeah, finally meet. But before I actually let you go, I have this small segment, quick segment here on Small Talk. It's called Five Questions. It's five questions with Ain Bernos. So I'm going to ask you five questions, and you're going to answer with either one word, one phrase, or one sentence. No explanations. Are you ready?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I'm
it's very
ready.
wholesome naman. It's very wholesome naman. Okay, first question. What is happiness?
Peace of mind.
Love that. Second question. What is success?
Happiness.
Yes. Success is happiness. Thank you for that. Next question. What is the best advice you have ever received?
That no one is better than me and I am better than no one.
Wow. That's deep. Okay, fourth question. What is the worst advice you have ever received?
That love needs to be painful.
Ooh. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay. Fifth question and final question. What's one thing you wish you knew when you were just starting in your career?
I am just as qualified as everybody else.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much for those wonderful for those wonderful inspiring answers. Again, I'm really grateful na nandito ka. Maraming salamat, Ayin. I enjoyed this very quick conversation. I am sure that we still have a lot of collaborations to go. Marami pa tayong gagawing mga projects together, and hopefully marami pa tayong time na magkwentuhan, just share this and talk about these ideas as well. So thank you so much. If people want to know more about the things that you do, if they're listening to my podcast, they're probably listening to yours. But please share to us, where can they find you online?
Yeah, you guys can follow me. That's Ayin Bernos, AYNBERNOS. I'm Ayin Bernos on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I don't have a Twitter. And I am also Ayin Pero Tagalog on my educational TikTok if you want to learn English pero in Tagalog. And yes, we do have a podcast called Confidence Radio that's available on Spotify and YouTube. Thank you so much, Alex. Sobrang saya naman ng session na to.
ng therapy session ito. No,
No
thank you.
therapy.
Thank you so much, Ayin. Okay, guys, you heard it. Check out Ayin's work. She's amazing. She's fantastic. And if you like this episode, go ahead and share this on your Instagram. Do not forget to tag us and tag me as well at Small Talk Podcast or at Alec Cuenca. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave this podcast a rating and review, because you guys help the podcast a lot. You guys are the reason why the podcast grows so much. So thank you again for listening. My name is Alec Cuenca. This is Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. And I will talk to you guys next episode. Bye bye. Yay! 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 I'm so
Yay.
happy. Thank you.